All right, back again. This time we got the orange MAXX, and as you see, I got my camera out so I know the angle that I have so that I'm not missing the video. So last time I had the camera pointed so high up you couldn't see what I was doing. So now we have the wide MAXX over there, the gray and blue one. Today package showed up and we have the orange one that is now getting the wide MAXX. So here we go. I found another kit, another complete kit, 8995G. So this time I'm going to do a whole install of this. So we're going to go ahead and convert this MAXX into a wide MAXX as well, and we'll see how they do tomorrow bashing. So I'll show you what comes in this kit. So you got 4 upper control arms, which are all identical. All the uppers are identical. Doesn't matter which way they go, they're all the same part. And then you have, these are the steering links for the steering arms because the wheels are going to get pushed out. Here are the new rear springs. Here's the installation instructions for the shocks on how to remove the front and rear shocks, and what oil to put in the rear, and taking the rear springs and moving it forward. I've already done this once. So as you can tell, these two are the same, and then these two are the same. So it doesn't matter front or rear, it's just left or right on the control arms. So there's 2 right and 2 left, and that's it. So here's the complete kit. I could only find green. For some reason, that's all that's out there, and these kits pop up every now and then. So steering links, and we're gonna get to putting this kit together, and we'll see how it all turns out. I have this RC stand, which doesn't work really good for monster trucks when the wheels are on, but once the wheels are off, it works pretty good. Actually, really good little cars, 110 scales. I've been really impressed with this RC. So now that we have that off, let me make sure these tires don't get in my way. So I can swing this RC around. Go ahead and stick the body out of the way. And we'll get to wrenching. Oh yeah, this one has the light kit. So the front and rear lights will have to get unplugged, I guess. Or I can just flip the bumpers up, because that's all I really need to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is try it this way without this stand. So I'm going to go ahead and clean out these holes. They always get plugged up. Oh, look at these are plugged too. Long size. So I have a little pattern to taking this stuff apart. My right side, I throw everything for the rear. The left side, I throw everything for the front. That way I know what bolts go where. Everybody has their own little system, but that's my system. Makes it easier because I have done this once before, so makes it a little easier, I guess. You can see how dirty everything is under here. People are texting. This is the rear. I stuck that in the wrong spot. Helps a little bit that I'm ambidextrous, I guess you would say, because I can use either hand, which is very helpful in automotive world, I guess you would say. rocks in there. So that's the teardown. So at this point you would just start putting the control arms back on, but I'm going to go ahead and clean up this RC, and then we'll come back once I have all the parts clean, because I want to clean and lube up some of this stuff, and there's no sense you guys watching that stuff. Alright, so it's all torn down now. I've got the stuff that goes on the left here, stuff that goes on the right here, and I'm going to get to cleaning this up. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright, got everything wiped down, cleaned up. It's always good to clean it up while it's apart. It helps a little bit. So I have these laid out the way I pulled them off. That way I know the shock mounts go towards the rear, and that the uppers, they're cut out for the shocks to fit through here. So I laid them that way on purpose. So I'm going to go ahead and match them up with the parts that I'm going to be replacing it with. And as you can see, here's the difference in the length. So it's a pretty good distance if you add this plus the other side. You know, it's a pretty good distance moving these wheels out. So once I do that, I'll get rid of the old parts. See, that one doesn't go there. Here we go. Then one of those. There we go. Still got dirt on it. So So these are nice and free now. And you have plenty of bite on these axles. And then these holes face up. Now I can stick the bumper on. Whoa. Put this back in my lap. So it goes in. And then the long bolt goes down in here. This is the big drill too. If you're going to use power tools, make sure that you don't bottom out the screw, especially the smaller screws, and strip the plastic, because that's going to make for a lot of work later on. So we're going to get on to these shocks now. I like this design to where it has the little bolt that holds on the bottom so it doesn't pop off. Now I have, these are damp, because you can see all the dirt that collects underneath the shock. And I've already washed these. And I'm going to throw 80 in the rear. So I'll take this out, put it in the cap. And you notice the fluid is full. Looking for bubbles. It's all the way full. So I'm going to start the threads. Before it starts getting tight, go ahead and push the piston up. And then there's a bleed hole right there that the excess oil will come out, so that all the trapped air is out. And I like the shock. You see how the shock won't bottom out because it's hitting this piece of plastic? So it won't literally bottom out, which is another nice design that Traxxas did. I get a little back snug with that. Excess fluids out. And then I haven't touched this one yet. I'm not trying to make it exact, I'm just trying to get it close. The new springs, they are marked in blue now. I don't know why they do that, but they got a blue mark. I don't know if these have a color. If there was, it's not there anymore, but these are going to become the front springs. And you can see the thickness is a lot thicker. As you see, it is shorter. It's shorter, but it's thicker. The winding is thicker. So it's about 1 coil difference. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. It's about 1 coil difference shorter. So these are going to become the front now. These are going to be the rear. Nice and smooth. As you hear, no air bubbles. Nice and smooth. And it doesn't push the shock shaft out. If it's pushing the shock shaft out any distance like that, you got air in there and it's going to kick up the rear. So definitely make sure you have no air in there. So that's how you're going to rebuild the rear, and then you're just going to reinstall them back onto here. So I'm going to end the video here while I do the other one off camera, because you don't need to see that, and I'll start it up again when I move on to the front. Be right back. All right. Went ahead and got the springs switched over. I put the rears on the front. What I did notice, these are the old front springs, that they are shorter than the rear springs that we moved forward. So they don't seem to be any stiffer. The rear springs were just longer, is the way it looked. So I did film this in time lapse, which of course didn't work. Went ahead and got the steering links switched over to the longer ones, and yeah, so got the rear shocks put back on. The video was getting really long, so I went ahead and filmed it in time lapse, but normal Earl fashion, GoPro didn't capture it. It turned it on, it captured me looking at it, but it is what it is. It's a long video anyway. It's just replacing upper lower arms just like we did on the rear, pulling the shocks off just like we did on the rear, and just changing out the springs and steering links. It's very easy to do. So that's it. I'm going to get the wheels put on, and we're going to take them out for a bash today. So expect that video very soon. So we're going to have 2 of these wide MAXXs, and yeah, we're going to go play with them today and see how they do. The green doesn't look that bad on the orange. And yeah, that's the new wide MAXX. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it's helpful to some people. And let's get out there and keep our scene. We'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks.